Oh, we're live.
We are live.
I never expected. It's funny. It's like a cognitive dissonance thing.
Even though you click the button.
Even though I click the button, I set all of this up and everything. And I hit the button to go live when it actually says you're live. I don't believe it.
I don't feel live at that point.
Then I go into denial.
Oh, John S. is the first one in here. Kicking down number 2.
Oh, kicking down. What's happening, brother man? Uncle Squirrel.
Is that guy? Is he a spammer or a what do you call it? A troll?
I don't think so.
I don't. It's weird. He's always does that. I always blame squirrels and squirrel. But he does. He's always in the same community.
I think he's okay. I think they're all okay. Everybody's okay. George Bonnie, Doug Narden, Fubar the Axe.
Oh, that's good. There won't be any spamming or what is that?
No shenanigans can take place.
No tomfoolery.
No tomfoolery. Let's see. Lloyd Walker, hi from Cleveland. Curious Okuda, what's going on?
Man, it's already starting with, what does that say? Trevor and Hubba Bubba. Hey, thoughts on deep sump oil pans? If you got the clearance, run it.
Yeah. There's no downside, really. The Kickendell has got 2 new videos on his YouTube channel today. Update on the Comanche and my new project, 67 AMC American Convertible. Oh, gave you and Dallas a shout out. Hope you don't not. No, why would I mind?
No,
Thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all either.
We will return the shout out.
Thank you very much. Yeah, here's my shout out.
The Kickendell
has some awesome new videos up on some AMC stuff. Well, I guess a Jeep and an AMC, or it could be 2 AMCs. I don't know.
Oh, an American convertible. That's rare.
Oh yeah, that's like a Rambler, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine. Did they even?
There can't be a lot
that?
Of those.
No. That's too cool. Okay. See now I'm trying to picture a 64.
The 67.
A 67 Rambler.
It'd be small, like the 64.
Oh, no. I can picture the car. Just trying to picture it as a convertible. I've never seen one.
I don't think I have it
either. I can't ever remember seeing one.
Would it be like a dark convertible or
those were common. 60. They were around, the dark convertibles.
What about what a Nova convertible or Falcon convertible? I don't think they made a Falcon convertible, did they?
Wait, I'm trying to picture a Nova convertible.
I don't think they made one.
No.
Because the Rambler, that's the Rambler, the American, right?
Yeah. 2-door. It's he's saying it's with the 199.6. Man, how do you like that? I never knew they made one. I never knew they made one.
Abel D says you're buying Facebook. You're taking on Elon Musk toe to toe.
No. Oh, we actually I signed up for Twitter.
Did you sign up for a Twitter account?
Well, okay, we had a Twitter account when we first started the channel.
Got kiboshed.
No, we never even did that. I like, okay, so when we started doing the channel, right, we did all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay? You gotta get Instagram, you gotta have Facebook, you gotta have Twitter, yeah. So we did all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, I did the same.
Yeah. So like it lasted the novelty wore off after about 15, 20 minutes.
I was just going to say that after you signed up for the account.
Yeah, right. It was like I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? So actually, we used to have a lot of fun on the Facebook page because we used to just rip off memes.
Oh,
The whole thing was memes.
Yeah, I do the same thing right now.
So I just scroll and find cool shit and put it on. And we actually had a pretty good, it was fun. It was a fun page, right?
Yeah.
But then it's done, right? Just done. So now I figure, well, Elon Musk, he's a car guy and one of the friendly aliens.
Tony's tweets.
Yeah. So I says, well, as long as Elon Musk is taking the thing over, I'll support it.
Right.
So today we revived the.
Well, now everybody knows. If you want to see Tony's tweets, or I would think it would be better if you called it Tony's Pecker over on Twitter. Go check out Tony's Pecker on Twitter. But that's like, I think Twitter is it might come back around. You know what I mean? I mean,
I know.
I'm hoping it will. I can't tell if Elon Musk is in the good or the bad. I can't tell what that dude is all about.
He's one of the friendly aliens that's here to help us.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, I'm serious.
And what's funny is he's got enough money. He don't have to have any vested interest in any of this.
He
shit.
could care less
Right,
about
right.
money. It's meaningless. 44. He bought this thing for $44 billion.
Oh, I had this guy tell me the other day on Facebook that the reason why he bought that Twitter was because that he could go after this guy that was reporting where his personal plane was at or whatever. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I said, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Do you think he went after it? Do you think he got that way being vindictive? No, he made calculated and cold decisions based on money, right? I mean, like he sees a huge return on his investment, and that's what he's going after.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's interesting times, but he certainly can't make it any worse.
No. Yeah, you can't make it any worse. Man, everybody's crying. Hey, check out the shirt, man. I got this bitch.
Oh, he's got the No Name National shirt.
Yeah, I got this from Blake and J-Bo and Jeremy up at Bad Tree Productions.
That was nice.
Custom made this shirt for me.
What's that over there? Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the logo.
I only had to drink like 100 beers for this shirt. So
very nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised it fits. I'm surprised my liver still works. We had a good time up there.
Greg McDonald says knees and teeth are chattering here in Michigan. It was all nippy here today.
It was 44 this morning. And then it didn't get nice until this afternoon.
Yeah.
This afternoon was just like I was wearing a sweatshirt and all of a sudden it just hit me like, man, I'm sweating like mad. What the hell's going on? And it just warmed up to like 70-something degrees. Got pretty nice.
My big Mike Soupty Bun says he thinks he lost about $44 billion in the couch one time. Yeah, well, that's a lot of cash. Hard to misplace that in the couch.
Well, when I run around with that kind of coin in my front pocket, I sometimes drop it myself.
I wonder what $44 billion in cash, like $100 bills, would actually.
I don't know. I think the only person I know of that's ever seen that kind of cash would be like President Obama put it on a pallet.
Yeah, that's right. Put it on a pallet, sent it to a country,
some other country.
Place, yeah.
Well,
nice of them to send cash like that.
I know. I was always told never send it to the U.S. Postal Service. It could get lost.
I wonder how much of it ended up in the Ukraine.
I have no idea. I bet they could track that, though.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't be able to track it. See, that's the thing. It wouldn't be. You couldn't track it.
You know what? Maybe those dollar bills weren't signed, and that's why.
Wait, I don't want to. Yeah, let's go someplace else. Greg McDonald's hoping Elon Musk buys YouTube and Facebook to fix everything right.
Yeah, I hope so.
Unity, what's happening, Andy? Tony, what's the going price for $73.40? Oh God, I don't know.
If it's running, probably around $1,500.
Yeah, I'd say about $1,500 or so. They're not big bucks. They're not, they're not crazy money.
Not running is where you get a good deal on them, but you also take a big gamble. Like,
yeah, you're really better off just do a 318. Do a 318.
Well, I heard you can bore them things like 100 over.
Which?
A 318.
Not the regular one, not the LA. You go 60 over one. Oh. So you end up with 326 inches. So you're 14 cubic inches shy.
Would anyone notice that?
No, nobody will notice that. Let's see. Franco, what's happening, man? Charles Manson, what would you recommend to remove rust from a cooling jacket? I know why won't touch rust, and I'm making my own hot tank. CLR.
Yeah, that stuff works good.
Yeah, try CLR. Calcium lime rust remover.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty. I don't know how it works, to tell you the truth.
Magic.
Well, so I was always like, when you fill a block with hard block, right? I was always told to put muriatic acid in there.
Yeah,
plug off all the ports and put muriatic acid and let it sit. And that'll clean it all out too. But man, you don't want to leave it in there.
Zero has just popped in.
That's it. We're all safe now.
Zero.
Yeah, we're all safe.
I
wonder where's John Wilburn. I didn't talk to him today. I was supposed to call him today, and I totally forgot.
Let's see. DW Garage, have you ever seen Matt's off-road recovery? Yes, very cool. Very cool.
Huh. Here, Matt S says, well, the guy passed away who owns the 340. It's got ported heads. Ran good years ago. He took it out and turned his Dart into a pro street car. with a big block Chevy.
So what can you get it for?
Oh, he didn't say what he was going to get it for. That's what he was asking. What would you pay for it, right?
Mike's Mischief, thank you for the super chat. And yes, we're all having a good week. It's actually a pretty good week so far.
Yeah. Well,
it's moving along. No tragedy.
I talked to our undercover engineer in the Comp Cam TCI group.
Okay.
And he said he
can't be named.
Right. I'm not going to name him.
Right.
He said he's going to announce that he's going to be at the No Name Nationals this year.
Okay.
So that'll be coming up. So look for.
So that's cool. Yeah. Look for somebody who you don't know who he is.
Yeah. It's
keep your eyes open.
I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wait till he announces it. But yeah, he has the Desert Dart, I think, is his YouTube channel.
Broke Joker ATV, Uncle Tony. I just want to say I love you, brother. I love you too, brother. You know, I love all you guys.
I figured you'd be riding. I thought you were gonna pull up on your bike.
It was running late, and I was like, I got enough time. Let me grab a cup of coffee and drink it over.
It's hard to ride with a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I've done it.
Have you really?
Yes, I've done it.
I saw you rode with a couple of noodles.
That was on the Super Cup.
I know.
Yeah,
but it can be done. It can be done.
You can't ride the Super Cup out here.
Why is that? Oh, because it can't do road speed.
Yeah, you like 50, it'll do 55, 60 even on flat surface. If you you're really going for it.
You get to the hills.
You get to a little bit of a hill, and it's like 35. So you can actually literally get killed out here. You know.
Oh, the Screaming Seaman says, "Hey Tony, I found an old set of heads in my late father's shed, and I found these weird heads that have the spark plugs, drill tubes. But they don't have weird screws by the rock arms. Do you know what they are?"
They don't have weird. Wait, I found an old set of heads in my late father's shed. I found those weird heads that have spark plug drill tubes, but they have weird screws by the rocker arms. No, offhand. I mean, I'm drawing a blank.
Well, there's how many engines had drill tubes? The Hemi, right?
Yeah,
the
all the
slant
various
six.
Hemis, the slant six. For Mopars, that's it. The poly heads all had the plugs in the the out. It's got to be an early Hemi. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what the screws are near the rockers.
I don't know.
What did that say? Uncle Tony Dallas, congrats on the weight.
Oh, Sledgehammer.
Oh, I had nothing to do with that. I'll let you know that now. That was all Mopar Al and Tony.
Yeah, I was totally surprised by that. There's just no way. Is it? Because I mean, it's all.
I saw it's going to be a lightweight, like real bastard. It's like what you're going to be at 3,000 pounds with somebody driving it.
3,100 pounds. No. It'll be yeah. Well, what did we figure? We put Alan. Okay, we put Alan there. With Alan there, it's 3,100 exactly on the money. So then you got to add probably another 175, 200 pounds worth of stuff. So it'll hit the starting line at about 3,300 pounds, which isn't bad.
No,
that's not bad. It's going to be a wheelie toy.
I don't know about wheelies because it's got the high center of gravity. Is that going to make it wheelie really easy?
Yes. Well, that's the whole point of a high center of gravity is to get it to transfer back like crazy.
Easy. Yeah.
Let's see. Arden Hemi heads for flatheads. Oh, that could, okay. Ooh, there's a good answer.
If you know what, if he's got a set of Ardens, man, you need to get them out of the shed right now and get them cleaned up because they're probably worth a pretty penny.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so for people who don't know, right? Yeah. Arden was a company that made hemispherical cylinder heads. They look very similar to the Chryslers, but they made Hemi heads for the flat to bolt on a flathead Ford.
And it changed it from the valves being in the block with a flathead configuration to an overhead valve configuration.
Right. What did they do with the valve holes on the Arden?
I have no idea. I think they just were open. That's where maybe your push rods went through. Well, no, because it would have had a valve and it would have had a cam follower, right? And it wouldn't have had a lifter. It would have had a cam follower.
Yeah, but you could put a lifter and a push rod. But what did they do? Okay, when they did, see, here's something I don't know. When they did the Arden, maybe somebody out there knows this. When they did the Arden conversions, the flatheads, What did they do with the valves that were in the block? How did they close those areas off?
I would think they'd be open, Tony, and that's where you'd have your push rod. And then you would just have your cam follower in there.
And Franco saying Arden was Zora Arcus Duntov. Right. So the father of the Corvette was the guy who did these Arden heads before he worked for Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's also the guy that designed the small block Chevrolet, right?
He's one of them. I think he was like a lead of that team, you know.
Well, he's got that cam that everybody drools over, right? That Chevrolet small block cam, is it the Duntov cam?
Oh yeah, the famous Duntov cam. Yeah,
yeah.
That's like the 3/4 cam.
Yeah, the 3/4 race cam. Didn't it use the flathead valve as the lifter? It would have had to do something like that to operate the lifters, because I'm assuming the valves are in the ssame place. They're just an overhead valve configuration, right? And then they would have had rockers up there. They would have had to use the valve as either a lifter or part of the push rod assembly.
I don't know, but you'd still be exposing the port.
But there's no air coming in. Oh, yeah, but then the exhaust would be coming out.
Yeah, so I'm saying, what did they do to close off the ports on the Ardens?
I don't know. That's weird. Maybe they filled them full of lead.
Well, that's what I'd like to know. Okay, Shopcat Industries. Yep, that's right. Just found a diagram. Push rod goes through. But there's still a port there. What did they do with the port? I guess they just filled the ports and blocked them off.
This is the only thing I could think of. Is you just take molten aluminum and pour it in
there. Mara Flores. How much should I spend on a 74 Corvette Stingray? No engine or transmission. I'm thinking about dropping a 454 in it. I like those cars. If it's clean, $2,000, $2,500 is probably about a fair price. They don't go for big bucks. You know, what do you think of those?
Those are the ones that came out in 67, right? 67 to 81. Oh, 68 to 81.
68, yeah.
I really like those. I do like those. There is a weird year in there where they went to the weird looking bumpers on them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they were like, what in the world did they do? But the early ones with the real bumpers on them, they look good.
The slick little bumperettes.
Yeah. They look good.
What's going on, Dizzy Izzy, rather. Wheelie King, combustion chamber head gaskets seal the ports. I don't know, man. I don't know. UT, will you weigh slag hammer after paint? Yeah, when it's complete rolling. Yeah.
Well, then you don't know how much paint weighs.
We're going to do that video. We're going to do it on a piece of sheet metal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you've been busy. I've been busy. We just haven't, you know.
I sandblasted over 60 pieces of stuff to take to the Buick Nationals this week. And I plan on doing at least that many more. I'm trying to get rid of all this stuff that I don't need, that I got millions of duplicates of. Like I must have 50 motor mounts for a 455 Buick. This stuff takes up a lot of room.
David Torres, I have a 70 Dart, original size 6 car turned 4-weight stroker. Fusible link roasted, alternator shorted. Bypassing ammeter and converting to a single wire 100 amp alternator. Any tips? I've never done that. I don't do the single wire thing. I like my voltage regulators separate, so I couldn't really tell you what to do with that.
Any tips? Don't put the fusible link back in.
You make sure you put a fusible link back in, because the diode can take a dump on a regular one wire as easy as it could on anything else.
And then you got nothing protecting you, and the car burns to the ground.
Right.
This is the coolest name I've seen in a long time.
Which one is that?
Phenomena. Remember that Muppets video where they did that?
Yeah, when I saw that the other day, so yeah. But when I saw it the other day, I saw the anon thing, and I was thinking, anons.
Oh, is that the the alcoholic?
No. The Q people.
Oh, all right, you got you.
Right, so that's because that's where my head is. So that's when I saw that. But then he's right. It's the Muppet, the phenomenon thing. Wheelie King, I watched a machinist guy that was able to measure the height of and weight of a Sharpie mark. Must be nice to have that much time on your hands. Could you imagine that? Right? That's like weighing yourself after you sneeze. You know?
Yeah. How many calories did it burn during that sneeze? And you would figure it out.
Yeah. It was that much snot. You know what I mean? I wonder what it weighs.
Wesley Jarman asks, what's a good machine shop to use around here? Where are you at, Wesley? Let's see. Danny Boyd, did Dodge put first-gen Hemis in pickup trucks? Oh, I remember seeing a Superstock one.
No, that was Max Wedge.
Oh, was it a Max Wedge truck?
Yeah, they did Max Wedges. Let's see. If they did, it would have been actually the Chrysler 354. No, there were all sorts of heavy applications. They put them in school buses. They put them in dump trucks. They put them in everything. I guess I don't know. Maybe somebody knows. I don't know if they put them in pickup trucks.
Okay, Wesley Jarman, he was asking where's a good machine shop around here. He lives in Nashville.
I use Shacklets exclusively. I use Shacklets for everything.
I go to Tommy's in Springfield, but that's just based on my opinion. I've never used Shacklets. And Tony's used Shacklets, and I've used Tommy's. But
I've used Shacklets for as long as I've lived here.
I used Tommy's for as long as I lived here, but I did have a whole bunch of Crakes in machine shop purgatory.
I got to say this, right? I use Shacklets. They don't give me a discount. If anything, they overcharge me. If anything, they're like, it's that ding dong from YouTube. Bill them up, hard. Okay. And I use them in spite of that because I have so much respect for their work. They do fantastic work.
Ramrod, is that the 354s?
That was Oldsmobile. Ramrod.
What is he talking about here then? Oh, okay. So
Hank Hill, thank you for the super chat.
I bet Hank likes propane accessories. All right.
I finally got some closure on the temp gauge situation in your 67 Sally. Oh, okay, you don't want the circuit board and all that. Turned out to be a brand new sensor I put on. Yep. Well, there you go. It happens.
Yeah, the quality of that stuff is just not there anymore.
But that's the simplest way, man. If you got a question as far as the cooling, the cooling system, you just ground out that wire, the wire that goes to the sending unit. And if the gauge moves, you know that it's the sending unit.
Hey, Tony. Oh, what does that say? I'm suspecting my 1980 Mercury Bobcat is burning oil after I got it running after sitting for over 20 years. Can I get away with just replacing the rings or hone cylinder? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to want to hone the cylinder if you're going to put new rings on that, dude.
You should be able to. Yeah, no problem. You shouldn't have any problem at all with that. That's the reason you would do like a home engine freshen up or rebuild. Exactly what the situation you got there.
Yeah. And if you cannot reuse rings generally. And you know what? I was going to try a video on that. I was actually going to see if I could find a 305 Chevy or a 307 Chevy and just strip it down. Don't even hone it, right? And slam it back together with used rings and different cylinders and see if the rings would seal. Now, my grandpa used to have a trick where he would take
Bonami. Bonami.
No. He would take lava hand cleaner and force it down the carburetor wide open, right?
Yeah.
And it would score the cylinder walls and break the rings in at the same time.
Yeah, most of the old timers use Bonami.
I don't know what that is.
It's a soap. It has the same, the lava hand cleaner.
Pumice in it?
It's pumice. Well, the Bonami is I don't know if it's pumice, but it's something that's very similar to that. It's like a coarse thing. And it was actually recommended. It was a service procedure recommended by different manufacturers.
Really?
The car came in. And somebody will know which manufacturer it was. I'm just drawing a blank, right? But if a car came into the service department and it was using oil, the service procedure was to pour Bonami down the carburetor and rev the piss out of the motor, and then send it.
I wonder if it'll work. That's why I
it
wanted to try it.
It absolutely works.
I want to try it. I thought that was pretty neat.
You could use Bonami to polish glass. Yeah.
Well, what's this guy saying? Tony Dallas, do you still cut your rotors? Yeah, of course.
I only cut them if they're worked.
That's the only time I ever cut.
Yeah.
If I put new pads on, sometimes I'll rough them up. just so like you can break them in, and because you can tell they're glazed. It's like a cylinder wall, right? But
Jimmy Jimenez, what should I do? I rebuilt my 340 and not all of my lifters are pumping up. Oh, put a few miles on it, but some of the lifters will not pump up. Flat tap it can.
Yeah,
flat tap, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, problem, man. You got the same problem that
99% of the
yeah. Welcome to the club. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, you probably have low quality lifters, buddy. I don't have any insight for you. Take them out, find it. You know what? Before you go any further, just take the intake manifold off, pull the push rods out, pull all the lifters out, throw them in the trash. Get on eBay and see if you can find an old school set of lifters. Yeah, at like maybe a set made before 2002, and you might be okay.
Yeah, no good news comes from that, brother, man. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a hopeful.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive it anymore until you do that, though.
Yeah. Andy just said, just go. Yeah. Oh, there he is. He says,
Oh.
Okay, this is complicated now.
Well, we had it on pause.
Andy from Unity Motorsports says, back when I worked at a Chevy dealership, GM had a tech bulletin to put Comet cleaner down the throttle body on 2.2 engines. Yeah, see, it's
man. I never heard of that, but I remember my grandpa telling me about the lava hand cleaner.
Yeah,
you just freaking hold her open and pour that crap down in there, and it'd re-break the rings in.
Yep. Okay. Okay, where's that super chat? Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage, thank you for the super chat. Tone, please a quick shout out for Nolan of Wild Rose Garage, Jeff of Two Hacks Garage, and I will be doing a live tomorrow night on my channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, then there you go, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Will's doing live.
Yes, you got some good people there. Wild Rose Garage and Two Hacks Garage, excellent.
So it's happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and these are actually, I think all those guys are in the No Name 500 for the No Name Nationals.
John Wilburn isn't here.
And that's why I'm surprised. Yeah. I was supposed to call him today, but he never called me, and I totally forgot about calling him. And I'm telling you, he's swamped with this house.
Yeah.
And it's nothing as good is coming out of it. It's like the city's forcing him to get electricians out there, these licensed, contracted electricians, and they're literally running wires on the outside of the wall with staple guns and shit. And he's like, what in the world is going on here? Right? And, oh, man, I feel so sorry for the dude.
Okay. Okay, where were we here now? Well,
was there another super chat?
No, I think that was it. Okay. Mopar Al is in the house.
Uh-oh.
The original Mopar Al.
He's got to be worn out. That dude, I think, works more than me.
Oh, he cranks.
He gets it done. I don't know how. I mean, I'm hoping I'm going that hardcore when I'm his age.
It's Edward Gomez. What's happening, Eddie? We gotta tilt that down just a hair.
The camera?
It's weird. Yeah, you see how low we are? I keep wanting to sit up higher.
So this guy here, the wrench, says he used to machine rotors on the car.
Yeah, they used to make a device for that. Actually, come down. That should be it. That's good. Yeah, that's better. That was weird, man. I keep looking at this thing and I'm like, why are we so short? See, look how much better you look now.
I know, but
you've got that majestic.
It puts more of the blue dong in there.
Yeah, that's all right. They're all used to it.
They are used to it. So when you were talking about that gave me a talking point. That machining the rotors on the car, you said they used to make a device to attach it to the car and machine them.
Yes,
and they turn it while it's on the spindle.
That became a thing because of the Hondas. When Hondas started to become popular, the Accords and the Civics, the Accords,
early
80s, right? Those rotors did not come. Those rotors are pressed on.
Oh, really?
So the easiest way to do that job was
bring the machine to the car.
Bring the machine on the car.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you the most interesting thing I've ever seen. Growing up in the Midwest, right? They used to have a lot of machinists that would work on tractors. And it was hard as hell to take some of the tractor engines out because they'd weigh, you'd think like a big block Chevy's heavy.
That's nothing compared to.
Yeah, nothing compared to an international inline six, right? So they actually had tools where they would machine the crank in the tractor, right?
I've seen.
Well, I had a 307 Olds and it spun a rod bearing. And my dad had a guy come out and machine that thing in the car. And it did a freaking pretty good job. Because we slammed it all back together. I mean, it took it all apart, pulled that one head off and put a new piston and new rings on that one piston.
I wouldn't think there'd be enough room in there in a car engine.
He machined it in the car, in the engine bay, which this machine attached to the bottom of the block. And that's how it got like its true level surface, I guess.
Will Thomas is saying we never machine off the car. Rotors get machined on the car or canned. That's today. I'm talking about years ago when I was in the business. Let's see.
Oh, the wrench says they have a bore machine like that too. Bore your block. Maybe that's how some of them end up with one cylinder with 30 overs in it.
I actually thought about buying one of those, so we could do blocks over here.
And just bolt it to the head, do one cylinder at a time?
Yep. But I would rather be overcharged by shacklets.
They do that good work, huh?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And you don't have to wreck any motors to figure it out.
I'm happy to drive in ridiculous traffic. The 60-mile round trip.
I hate Nashville traffic.
Right? And pay through the nose. Let's see.
Terry asks, what gears in 71 Buick Skylark 350 V8? It is stock. I'm going to go on a limb here, Terry, and I'm assuming, you could have got anywhere from like a 391 all the way to like a 260 gear or 255 gear.
242s in the Buick.
I don't know if they had that high a gear during that time. Not 71. Well, maybe 71 because that was the first year 8.5-inch GM corporate 10 bolt.
Yeah.
So maybe you could have got a 241, but most of them that I've seen are generally like anywhere between 273 and 255 gears.
Two Hacks Garage. Tony, any advice on repainting or repairing old fiberglass that's really thin? I assume you're talking about that funny car body.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Bro, the only thing you can do is lay it upside down and throw some new mat in there. That's all you can do.
Can't you re-resin the outside?
Well, he's trying. If it's thin, so if he goes over the top, when he goes to level it, it's thin again.
Oh, right. Yeah,
if you do it from the inside,
because he knocks it down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's right. He's got to be patched from the inside.
Let's see. Tony, did you rebuild the rotors on the blowers of the fuel? Actually, I used to have Helen Hoffman do them for me. She used to strip the blowers. I take them apart, give her the rotors, and she would strip them, and I put them back together again.
Oh, there you go. Two Hacks Garage. Tom Muse says he'll be covering that. He's going to be doing, I guess, fixing some fiberglass stuff.
I've fixed one too many funny car bodies in my day, as Franco can attest to.
Partington says, I'm changing my head gaskets. Should I clean the bit of carbon off the top of the pistons? No, I'd leave it. Unless it's like an abundant amount, like where you can peel it off in sheets. I would pretty much leave it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It checks one half of those. No, you're going to clean it off, it's going to go back. But like you said, unless it's like flaky and thick layered on there, if it's just an even coating, I would just leave it. Franco saying there's no strength in gel coat. So here's the thing, right? I ran with a bunch of leaker funny cars, right? Back in the day. So because of that, body repair was a constant. It never ever stopped, right? Bodies and windshields, always replacing windshields, always patching bodies.
Why windshields? They're blowing them out, like banging the blower and knock it out.
Fuel.
Oh, it whited it up.
Fuel, so you got a little bit of a leak, let's say from the barrel valve, one of the lines, okay, and any fuel that leaks down onto the windshield causes it to like shatter. You know,
Really?
like it's spiders.
Really?
Yeah. So forever, and tin, fixing tin, right? So because I was like the bottom man on the totem pole, you know, cutting my teeth and learning the you know, paying my dues. I had to pay my dues.
Right.
So I was always the guy that had to fix the tin, patch the body, change the windshield, right? Constant. It never stopped, right? On top of whatever other jobs you have to do on the car. So finally, I owed every. So I was working with Lagana, and to keep going, right? I burned out every body and fender guy I knew for paint, right? Because you know we burn the car, break the car, whatever it happened to be. So it finally got to the point that I was in funny car body hell. All the walls were closing in. I owed everybody I knew, right, that could hold a paint gun. Okay, I owed them money, right, and they weren't even my cars. But I was just doing this just to keep going. You know what I mean? Because you know you're right. You just got to keep going.
I'll eventually dig myself out.
So we got to a point where it was like I was racing with Lagana, and we burned the car at Englishtown. First round against John Force, burned the car to the ground. I've told that story before. So make a long story short, as we were regrouping, I says, Bobby, let's just get a freaking dragster. Let's just get a dragster and just be done with this, right? Says, oh no, funny car. Oh, Bobby, look, you're out of money. I got a couple of dollars left. I'm going to buy a dragster, and we're going to go do this. So I did. I bought Wayne Selko's alcohol dragster, and we put all of the funny car stuff in the drivetrain in there, and it was like the sun came out. It was
the
like
heavens opened up.
I could taste things. You know what I mean? I could hear music when it was. You know what I mean? It was like it was amazing. Like I could sleep at night. I could digest things. Right? It was crazy. Because now when we would blow up the motor and like just blow it like out of the frame rails, all you had to do was take a rag and just wipe it off.
Wipe off the paint.
and then stick it on the motor.
Well, you know, Garlett said he used to say the only reason I ended up racing dragsters is because that's the only thing I could afford. And I never realized how cheap it was until I looked at what's a roller cost. $3,500, $4,000 these days. I mean, you could have a freaking altered or a dragster, like them two buggy cars are pretty cheap.
Those are crazy days.
The reason why I stopped it was that Jonathan Couch is asking, did Oldsmobile make a Cutlass with a 470 or was it just straight 6, 350, and 455? Jonathan, I'm assuming it's just like any other GM product of that day. The 400 cubic inch was only around because they had a 400 cubic inch limit on a mid-size car on the A bodies. That's the maximum you could get up to 69. In 70, the gloves came off. And they realized that why have a 400 and a 425 and all this other crap? And they got rid of it and went to one tooling for a 455. And it probably saved them a bunch of money. But that's pretty much how the Buicks went. I know Chevrolets didn't have a 396. They did have a 402 still, right? In 70?
Yeah.
I think they had a 402. That was the entry level SS car, right? Or no, you could have 350. You could have a 350 SS car in 70.
Yes. I was drawing a blank there. I'm still picturing fire.
Lagana body.
Yeah, please. Paul Capizol, did you work with Al Hoffman? I knew Al, but no, I never worked with him. Al actually locked me out of a trailer during a tornado once. But his wife, Helen, he got the blower drive, the BDS sponsorship. We knew him, we used to match race him all the time, like when he had the China Syndrome car. He got the BDS sponsorship, and Helen used to strip everybody's blowers. That was her thing. She'd do it in the pits.
So where is that? Bob Smith is asking, what's my favorite carburetor for a Buick 455? You know what? Most guys that run Buicks that are performance oriented run a 950 Holly. That's the big one essentially of the 4150 series. I don't know if they go any bigger than that. Do they for the 4150s?
Which?
The Hollies. Do they go to a 1050 CFM?
Yeah.
For a 4150? Not a Dominator.
No. For 4150, the 950 is the biggest.
Yeah, I think that's what most guys use is that 950. Otherwise, if it's for the street, I like a good old quadrajet. jet. There's nothing wrong with those for on that big Buick because it's got such a big bore. They pull good vacuum, so that's what helps the quadrajet jet run well.
John Mazio, Wayne Silka was a lifelong friend of mine. He still owns and operates Heads Up Chassis Shop. Tell Wayne I said hi. Wayne is such a good guy.
Do you owe him money too?
I don't think I owe Wayne money. Ask him if I owe him money. If I do, it's a debt that's over like 30 years old now, right? But no, yeah, definitely tell Wayne I said hi. I used to go to the shop. Man, I learned so much from that guy. I mean, like, because I would just hang around and he would just spew information, man.
Drag Boss Garage
awesome.
said that he's got 1100 CFM 4150. Is that 3-barrel Holly? Is that 1100 CFM?
Well, the 3-barrel came as a 1050 also.
Okay.
The 3-barrel came as a 950 and a 1050. So technically, yes. But I wasn't thinking.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
So I imagine they're pretty hard to come by.
Now you could modify them and get 1100 CFM.
Well, I know all right. So the Buicks love the bigger carburetor. The bigger you can throw at, the better it's going to work. But the reasoning for it is the heads and intake flow so poorly that you gain a few horsepower every time you go to a bigger carburetor, right? And that's kind of the ticket. That, to me, though, means you just need better heads.
Now, Ed's Machine is saying they do make a 1050 4150, but that's the 3-barrel. Or do they make
like a new one? I don't know.
I mean, if they do, I'm not aware of it.
I know I'm putting a 950 on that 364 cubic inch super stock motor.
John Radican. I built my first small block Chevy and it runs great. Congratulations. I wanted to say thanks to you because your videos helped me out so much. Awesome. Thank you for acknowledging that, man. I appreciate it.
And you couldn't have picked a better motor to do for your first time there, John. I mean, there's so many parts and they're fairly simple. And there's a lot of material out there to show you how to do Chevrolet small block. So congratulations on it running well.
John Mazio, okay. No debt. He'd have hit you up. You're right. Yeah, but I live in Tennessee. He'd have to come find me. He's still a kick-ass fabricator welder. Man, he's brilliant, just absolutely brilliant guy. We bought that alcohol dragster from him. We put the funny car motor in the alcohol dragster. We brought it out to West Hampton. Okay, first time out with the car. We brought it out to, or maybe it was the second time out with the car. We brought it to West Hampton to do some testing. It tossed the blower belt. The blower belt got caught in the wing. It broke one of the wing stands, turned it this way, put the car into the wall in the lights. So what 230, 240 miles an hour or so?
Ooh.
Right before the lights. Hit the wall, right? Barrel rolled a couple, did this, the roll a few times, right? It was fun. The car was fine. We stuck a nose on it. The back half of the car, nothing wrong with it. We just touched up the paint where the cage got scratched, and that was it. That guy built just the most amazing car. Okay, wait. I gotta go back. Okay, so that car. Let me tell you something on Wayne Silko. Okay, I'll tell you something on Wayne Silko. You don't mind if I hijack this for one second?
No, go ahead. This is your show.
Well, no, it's our show.
Oh, okay.
It's ours.
No, all right.
But I got to hijack this for 1 second because we're talking about Wayne Silko, right?
Okay.
And so let me tell you a story, all right? So we ran this car for like 2 seasons. Just as we're starting to get the hang of it, I'm like, we got to because Bobby was driving the car. I had no interest in driving the car at all. Bobby was driving the car, but he was gun shy, and I couldn't get him to fucking stay in it through the lights consistently. So it's hard to tune the car, hard to make things work when you get an inconsistent driver. So his kid, Bobby Jr., wanted to drive the car. So we spent months training this kid, getting him in the car, getting him to where he was comfortable and start, because it's not something you don't just jump into one of these cars just and go, right? It took a long time. So anyway, make a long story short, we get to the IHRA Winter Nationals in Leicester, New York, right? Season opener thing. We qualified, whatever it was, like 7th or 8th. We were in the field. His first run in competition, okay, his first run. Car goes out, right? The chassis broke. It had nothing to do with Wayne. It was damage from a match race previous, right? Repaired the damage. The damage broke. The car broke between the motor and the roll cage and went like this. And when it went like this, it pinched all of the lines, all of the control cables from the cockpit to the engine. So chassis is like this. The throttle is wide open, no way to close the throttle. The fuel shut off is pinched wide open.
Oh, because
no
it's
way
a
to
rod.
shut it off.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
rod or a cable.
Yeah, all because they all ran through the frame rails, and when it was like this, they got pinched.
Could you throw the mag?
No, couldn't do anything. You throw the mag on a fuel car at that speed, it's not going to do anything.
Oh, it'll keep running?
It just keep running.
Oh.
So, and anyway, make a long story short, this car goes off the end of the track at like, what
terminal velocity is what
terminal
they call
velocity,
it.
however fast a top fuel dragster can go, right? Wide open throttle over the course of a 3/4 of a mile run. Okay, that's how fast this thing went into the woods. So uncalculable mile an hour. I get there, right? I'm the first person on the fucking scene because nobody knew what was going on. We couldn't find the car. Because what happened was it just disappeared in smoke. The whole track just was leveled in smoke, right? I'm sorry if the story's going on, but it's having to do with Wayne, right? So make a long story short, I jump in the truck, run to the end of the track, can't find the car. We don't know what happened because from the starting line you can't see what's going on down there. All right, so now I see the fence is all broken down. Okay, all of the fence posts at the end of the property are all broken down like this, and they go into the woods. Right? I'm like, oh shit, I know what happened. So I go running into the friggin' woods along the fence. So the fence, picture like an 8 or 9 foot tall fence, okay, all squeezed down to about this big and running into the woods so what happened was the fence caught the cockpit of the car, wrapped itself around the cockpit of the car, and the whole mess went into the woods, into the trees, okay? So I get there, I'm the first person on the scene. There's just the cockpit of the car, right? Everything else was gone. Everything from the footbox was gone. Everything from the back of the roll cage was gone. But the cockpit was still there. I got it rolled over, right? Bobby Jr. was still alive. He had lost a bunch of fingers and stuff like that. And some bones sticking. Okay, it wasn't the prettiest thing. But that roll cage that Wayne Selko built did the impossible, did the absolute impossible. If a lesser cage, right? Lesser craftsmanship, right? There wouldn't have been enough left of this kid to bury, okay? But it stayed completely 100% intact. So that Wayne Selko is just absolutely a god as far as I'm concerned, as far as chassis building is concerned. I'm sorry to hijack.
No, it's all right. They got the Screaming Seaman said he found, and I've seen it come up like 2 or 3 times now. I found a 74 Pontiac TA 455 Super Duty with good drivetrain, but it needs a suspension mounts replaced because of rot. Do you think it's worth it? I don't know what the price is they're asking for it, but it's a 455 Super Duty Trans Am.
Yeah, if it's
74.
Legit, yeah, that car's got some value to it.
It does. And all that stuff is repopped for the body, so it'd be so easy to replace that, whatever is bad with it. Thumper, the sweaty fat guy, you need to get a hold of me because I got some Mickey Thompson aluminum Pontiac rods I need to.
Oh, here you go. Hey, Olive, what's going on?
Screaming Seaman. DD Speed Shop wants me to say it again. Super Duty 455 is a super special engine. Yeah, wasn't that like the Beyond Ram Air 4 stuff? The Super Duty 455 from 74.
Well, it wasn't beyond Ram Air. I mean, Ram Air was it was the smog version of.
I don't think it was smog at all because Pontiac is the one that got their nipples pinched by the government for making muscle cars past 71.
It was close, but it was no cigar. People will know. Now, I remember the Super Duty 455s, but they're not the same. They're not as good as the older Ram Air.
Thumper saying his 72 455 HO formula is worth $30K with all the rust. So I imagine that Super Duty, if that's a true Super Duty, especially if it's white and blue. Oh,
so yeah, Thumper is the Pontiac guy. So how would you compare the SD 455 to the Ram Air 4? $1958 roll cage was better than today. 1958. No, this was 1998 or 1999.
1958 would have been like one hoop bar.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cole Nasham, do you butt weld floor pans or overlap them when you replace them?
See that again now?
He's asking, do you butt weld your floor pans or overlap them when you replace them?
I overlap them slightly.
I do a 1/4 inch overlap on them.
Yeah.
You can actually get that flanging tool from like Harbor Freight or
Yeah.
whatever and just do the whole edges, and then it'll fit like a glove with a 1/4 inch overlap. And then you could weld the whole seam or just do some plug welds in there. They were only spot welded into place to begin with.
Big Belly Racing. Tony, what do you think of an LD340 is worth if you were buying it? I'll tell you, when I was in the parts business, going back about 5 years ago now, 6 years ago, I was selling a lot of parts. Those manifolds, I would list those things on Freight Bodies only for like $200, and it would be a bidding war over the things. So easy $200. I mean, I've sold them for as much as $350, not because I priced them that way, but because people kept bidding them up that high.
Danny Boy would say always butt weld them if possible. I don't know.
Well, it's better. It's better to butt weld them because because moisture and rust is going to get caught in that overlap section.
Yeah.
But I feel that I'm coming to the end of my life, and I don't really give a fuck.
In 50 years, when you got to replace them again. 428 was. Oh, what are these guys talking about? Oh, they're talking Pontiac stuff amongst themselves.
Yeah. They're speaking that Pontiac language.
Thumper saying any round port Pontiac numbers matching is damn near any condition is worth big money. Thumper, I'm telling you got to get a hold of me. I got some really no shit Mickey Thompson aluminum Pontiac rods.
Franco, Tony, when Bobby Jr. was running the RHR circuit, he won 2 events in a row. I called to congratulate him. He told me leaving the old man home was worth 3/10. I swear to God, that I wasn't there for that, but I'm telling you, that's the exact truth. Bobby was a good guy. Bobby was hardcore, right? But he was his own worst enemy.
Oh, so Zulu Lion sends this super chat.
Thank you, Zulu.
He says, I've been waiting 5 months for a stroker kit from Scat. Anyone else have this problem? 360, 408. I've heard the same thing. My buddy is doing a 408 motor, and he said that he's been waiting about the same amount of time. I imagine that's going to be the case for a long time, is what it appears to be.
Rocky Myers, you're talking about the wreck of Bobby Lagana. Yes.
I wonder what the workaround would be for that. These stroker kits. Build a 360 then.
Yeah, just cancel your
stroker and just go with the 360. I know you want the extra cubes. When the stuff's not available, it's just not available.
Let's see.
Throttle Davidson saying any 361 stitches going down anytime soon.
No, I have so many things that got to get done before I can even think about it. I won't. That motor won't even get looked at until probably July or August. Rocky Myers, didn't his brother Dom lose his legs in a crash? Yes, Dominic crashed the shipbox of Doom, that Chevy. He lost both of his legs. I don't know if above or below the knee. I'm not even sure. He had 2nd and 3rd degree burns over like 60% of his body, and his head was broken open. Bad deal. But he's recovering.
Screaming Seaman, how close is the Pontiac Super Duty 455 to the Buick 455 Stage 1? Nothing even in comparison. I think, what did we figure out? The main bearing size is the same thing. That's about it.
What's that?
And that they use oil and a points distributor and a quadrijet. Thumper, just hit me up at it's Dallas at ahraonline.com. All right. Let's see.
Dallas CT, you ever use a dishwasher to wash engine parts? I was just given one, looking forward to trying it. I've never done it.
I have.
Yeah.
If my wife is watching, I have never done this. If she's not watching, yes, I did it many times, and it works out really well. But you need to. What I found is the best way to do it is soften some of that stuff up first with like. You need something that's going to break it down a bit. You can't throw kerosene in there because then your freaking dishwasher is going to smell like kerosene. But if you had a purpose-built dishwasher just for cleaning car parts, it's no different than a hot tank or what is that? What do they call them today? Them spray baths that they put the block in.
Yeah.
Same thing, same exact thing.
It's not that I don't have like a phobia or like any mental prohibitions against using the dishwasher. I just never did it.
It works great. If you can get one cheap, I'm telling you could do it here because no one would care, right? You hook it up to that sink, that spare sink in there.
Could do that.
And you would be happy. It saves you hours.
See, Joe Brown is saying gasoline cleans well too. I use gas to clean almost everything.
I use kerosene on most stuff.
Yeah, but kerosene leaves that oily film when you're done. You still have to clean it with something else.
Carb cleaner. Or brake clean.
But just use gasoline and you skip all those steps.
Yeah, but then you could accidentally light yourself on fire.
Who hasn't been on fire? If you have a problem with being on fire, you're in the wrong fucking industry.
Well, previous life, I was this Shaolin monk that staged this protest in the middle of Vietnam. I don't know.
Let's see. The kick doll. I used the wifey's dishwasher when I was degreasing and rebuilding the Comanche engine. 2 Dawn dishwasher tablets made short work of shmoo. Kathy, if you're watching, right, we're gonna. You know what we should do? That's a good video.
Just go buy one off of freaking Craigslist and then see if, or not Craigslist, but Marketplace or whatever.
Yeah, but they're hook it up and everything. I've already got one at the house.
Well, you can do it. I mean, it works good on parts, especially if they got like caked on oil. It does get it off because that dishwasher, when you put it on a sanitized cycle or
she's here, I'm listening.
It does get hot because it turns that heater on, right? And it steam cleans all that stuff.
Is she saying no? This keeps coming up. The Screaming Seaman. Tony, did you see the Thunderhead video about running a 302 off of a lawnmower carb and I got 41 miles to the gallon?
The magic is not that carb. Did you watch the video?
Wait, let me guess. Right? Controlled vacuum leak.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, wait, let me guess. He used that to regulate fuel mixture.
Yeah, it was tied into an O2 sensor, and what it would do is it keep the optimal air fuel ratio all the time. The carburetor wasn't the magic; that thing was the magic, and that's.
So I haven't seen the video, but I know that you can't. I know I saw the thumbnails and people have been telling me he went 70 miles an hour with this thing and got 41 miles to the gallon. I'm like, that's not going to happen through just the orifice of a lawnmower carburetor. It just cannot happen. So I figured there had to be some sort of air metering device in addition to that. So basically, if you took a lawnmower carburetor and you left all of the vacuum lines open around the engine, you'd have enough air to supplement the fuel that's coming in through the little carburetor, and you could probably get 41 miles a gallon and probably hit 70 miles an hour. Probably.
You can tell it was not a rocket ship when he was getting on the interstate because, I mean, this is probably a 150 CFM carburetor, right? I don't know what it is. It's small, right? But it was not a rocket ship going up to speeds. And he even says that in the video. It's not the fastest thing you've ever driven, right? But once it gets in, it easily ran 70 miles an hour. But it didn't seem to be too bad.
It would probably take about 30 horsepower to average about 70 miles an hour in a typical car. So he made 30 horsepower with a V8 engine and got 41 miles to the gallon. That's not usable.
It seemed to do all right. And he overtook somebody on the highway with it. I mean, you could tell when he got into it, there wasn't really much to get into. You know, your laundry basket of horsepower, there really wasn't nothing there.
Dad Burton, it's about a daily driver, not a racing car. I'm not talking about a racing car. I'm talking about a daily driver. So think of it this way. Okay? So let's just say you've got a 200 horsepower engine, a 200 horsepower 8-cylinder engine, and you take off 5 plug wires. Okay, now you're down to around 30 or 40 horsepower. Well, okay, 4 horse because you got pumping losses. So you take half the spark plugs off of the thing and you send it. You will be able to, in time, get it up to like 70 miles an hour. Are you going up hills? No. Are you passing anybody with any type of like conviction? No. Are you pulling any type of trailer? No. It's like, so you can handicap an engine and nurse it along and get to a steady state cruise, but it's not a usable practical car where it's like, okay, all situations, this thing's going to function like a regular car. And I'm not talking about a race car by any stretch of the imagination. I'm talking about just a regular car. It's got to function like a regular car. So, and on that note, how would you feel about pulling a few plug wires off your car and using it as a daily driver? It's the same thing.
Andy says he's going to do the opposite. Twin Dominators and 20 miles a gallon. And the internet's going to break, right? Yeah. Kickendale, it's a 302. How much are you really going to get into it anyways? Kickendale, you are not a 302 fan, but 302s do run good.
Josh, your satellite. Bro, I literally just thinking about that today. I ordered a set of plug wires for it. The ones you have are all jacked up. I ordered a set of plug wires for it. I ordered a throttle bracket, a 6-pack throttle bracket for it, but they're not in stock. So I'm going to just weld an extension onto the one that you've already got there. I'm going to work on it either tomorrow or the next day. I know you want that car back. So, but yeah, you'll get it back soon.
But the neat thing is, the Thunderhead 289 guy now is going to try it with his Holly back on there, that 390 CFM Holly, and see what it does with that metering device on there. And I think you're going to find out the magic is not the carburetor. The magic is the metering device that he's using. It's just a controlled vacuum leak, essentially, is all it is. But it's creating the ideal air-fuel ratio, kind of like EFI working with a carburetor, right? But if you look back on that, that's kind of what the computer-controlled carburetors were.
Ray Coates, you hit it right on the head. Uncle Tony, lawnmower carburetor gets lots of views, dollars. Yeah, I know. I get that. Tell us about the Fox body. Yesterday, we're going through Marketplace, and there was a really nice 91 convertible, right? 4-cylinder automatic. But this thing was clean with a nice top and everything else, and they wanted $1,900 for it. And it came that close.
Dude, I got a wiring harness for it and a computer and injectors.
I don't want to get involved in another project.
Man, could have had a 5.0 Mustang.
I don't want to get another. I don't want to.
No. Oh, I love them things. Those were magic.
It's a nice car. If anybody in Nashville Facebook Marketplace, I mean, go look at this car. It's clean. It's nice. It's worth way more than they're asking.
Travis Moore says you may as well try the metering device on a mason jar carburetor.
But people keep asking me, what's my opinion on it? Have I seen it? I don't really have an opinion on it. It's, I wish I had an opinion on it, but I don't. It's somebody put a lawnmower carburetor on an engine and drove it. It's not.
Read that one right there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sold. I'm putting a lawnmower carb on my LS3.
Fox body with a slant. That would be different. But I don't know why you would take the 2.3 out of there. I bet that runs fantastically.
If I was to do a Fox body, I think I would do a turbo 4-banger before I would do.
Oh yeah, like that came out in the Thunderbird Super Coupes or the Turbo Coupes.
Yeah.
Sega race guys win. Next month.
Unity Al of Andy rather. Tunnel ram with 20 lawnmower carbs. Let's work on that. Let's start rounding up lawnmower carburetors.
I think that would be funny. You should just make your own top. You know how the top bolts on? Just put a bunch of them suckers on there and make them progressive.
I tell you what would definitely make a difference with that. The atomization's got to be off the freaking.
Well, that's
chart.
what he was saying. Why he thinks because the velocity of air through that carburetor is so high that it atomizes the fuel. That's where he was saying he believes it's kind of like working similar to the hot vapor carburetor, right? Because it atomizes the fuel so well.
No, it'd be the opposite. If it atomizes the fuel well, it's dropping the temperature of the fuel, not raising it. The more you atomize the fuel, the lower the temperature goes.
Okay.
So therefore, it would actually be you'd pick up a bit of power. It would make more power than you would think that it would make, because as the fuel is coming through the tank,
Yeah,
there's
it's
tiny
negative
orifices.
100 degrees.
Right. So you're dropping. Normally, fuel drops the temperature. The temperature of the fuel will drop 20 degrees or so as it's coming through the carburetor.
Right.
On that thing, the temperature drop was probably closer to 50, 60, 70 degrees.
Right.
Which means you got that much more oxygen in the mix.
Yeah.
So to give you some more potent.
It definitely gives some. Part throttle would just be freaking stupid on it.
Yeah.
Because the velocity is ridiculous.
Evan, it's a good case for the spreadboard carbs. Well, yeah, but I mean, they figured that out 70 years ago, bro. It's not a new concept.
Uh-oh. This guy's from the UK. He has a Buick question. 73 455 electric two-door. It's freaking huge and awesome. Was this a rare car in the States?
No, they're all over the place.
Yeah, they were freaking lined up like cordwood.
Thumper, Tony, vaporizing lowers the temperature. I know. I just said that. That was what I just said. Charles Manson, if gas atomization drops intake charge temperatures, what would the effect of heating the intake do after the ultra atomization? Would you lose power again at all? No, as soon as that finely atomized fuel, the cold fuel hits the back of the hot intake valve, it vaporizes. And that's just the normal.
There you go. Long runner slant 6 with lawnmower carbs. 1 for each cylinder.
Oh, wait, Thumper. Tony, you said atomizing does, not nearly as much as vaporization. Okay. I know, and I understand what you're saying. But now use this in the context of the internal combustion engine, not just an aerosol, right? The atomization drops the temperature. There's no heat source during the atomization process. During the vaporization process, the vaporization process happens because of heat. So therefore, you're negating any temperature loss of vaporization, because the source of vaporization is heat. You see what I'm saying? So it's not quite the same.
So Kipton Josh was saying putting a turbo on my 292 inline 6 C10 blow through the single Rochester should have some velocity. Oh, I don't know how easy it's going to make that. See, all right, if that's a single barrel Rochester, right?
Yeah.
All those Rochester carbs work off vacuum signal, like off the bottom of the carburetor. I don't know how easy that's going to be.
No, you could blow through that. It doesn't matter. Whatever's coming through is the problem you're going to run into. That is just limited CFM. The carburetor is now going to become a choke point. You'll have lots of boost going through this small area, which is going to raise the temperature of it. Yeah, at low RPM, small throttle openings, cruising type of, like let's say you go down the highway and just want to pass somebody half throttle, it would probably work really well. But for all out, no.
I'll tell you where you can. All right, if you wanted to do this and you wanted to do it right and simple, okay. In 1978 through 80, or I think through 81, Buick made the 231 V6 Buick, and it was a carburetor suck through system, and the turbo sucked through the carburetor, and then it forced it down the intake with like what looks like about a 2-inch opening, right, with like a three bolt flange on it. You literally could make one in your garage to bolt right to that intake manifold of that 292, but just have a suck through carburetor setup on it, and it would probably be even easier. And then it'd be a quadrajet, and it's already metered for that thing, right? So because it's 231 cubes, I bet you it'd be pretty damn close.
Wait, let me go back to Thumper here. It depends on the fuel used. Agreed. Also, lower pressure has a lower boiling point. Higher pressure has a higher boiling point. The plenum is a relative vacuum. so fuel will vaporize in the runners. I don't know. There's not enough vacuum. There's not enough vacuum in the runner to vaporize fuel to cause vaporization. All of that is done through heat. It's all done through heat in a conventional engine.
Oh, is John Wilburn here?
There he is. Oh, he timed the code out, which is important. And Ari's all over the place, but at least he's here. At least this is one of the places he's all over.
Oh, you know what? Somebody brings that up. Did they kick all of the fuel over to 15% ethanol or something?
I don't know.
I've heard this a couple of times that they're going to be doing that. Mr. Wilburn, I was supposed to call you today, man. I don't know, and you're flying low.
John, Tony, you want to do another back-to-back live on Sunday with the Content Creator Workshop? I may be in Murfreesboro on Sunday. On Sunday, I don't know if we told you about this yet. Sunday night, we're going to do a barbecue live here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we haven't announced it or anything like that, but Kiwi is going to be here. The Junkyard Jack guy is going to be here.
It's just going to be the
UTG
group.
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah. Kickendale got timed out for his 302 comment. That's funny.
Let's see.
Dr. Jiminy, I have a 454 with a mild cam in it. What CFM carburetor should I get for it? Just a street driver.
Just a street driver? What would you recommend?
Street driver, just a street driver. I'd leave it with the Quadrajet, the 800 CFM Quadrajet on it.
Yeah, he's probably right. If it's just a street driver, the Quadrajet is probably the best carburetor for that. John Yeager, did you ever get involved with Keith Black? No, I have bought parts from him, but no, I've never got involved with him.
You're probably like way too low on the totem pole.
Yeah, that's royalty, right? That's like, yeah, no.
Keith Black's up there rubbing elbows with like Don Perdome. Who else was huge at the time? Tom McEwen.
Well, he was partners with Perdome.
Right.
The Greer Black and Perdome car. Let's see. A little bit of GTX. 1 year in the new shop. Yep. It was a year at the beginning of this month.
Oh, what's that?
We've been in here. We've been in the shop for a year.
Oh, it's been a year?
Yeah. Flies, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny is you did that. What was it? The meet and greet a year ago then?
Yeah. Let's see.
He says, one for the road says, Tony, it's okay. At least they weren't asking you if you knew Walter Chrysler personally.
I contact him with the Ouija board all the time. When I'm not sure what I want for dinner, I break out the Ouija board. I ask Walter P. He tells me. And it's almost always go to the Chinese buffet.
Mopar Mitch is saying, where's the best place to get a new harmonic balancer for a 350 Chevy? Just about any. Well, you used to be able to like go to Hardee's and get one of those.
Yeah, right, exactly. You can order large fries or even a kid's meal, and it would come with a small Chevy harmonic balancer.
I don't know about today.
Yeah,
but, I'm pretty certain you can still get one of them at the parts store.
Buick does it. That's when Shock and Austin showed up. Yep.
Oh, it was last year?
Yeah, at the meet and greet. That was when we met Austin.
Oh yeah, that's right. He brought his poly-headed car.
It seems like a long ass time ago.
Yeah, but it's like just been a lot of content ago, right?
Let's see. Brian Jutz is drawing through carb to turbo, risking explosion.
No. Nope. That's how the factory ones came.
Yeah.
Even back in when did Oldsmobile do it? 62?
All of the original factory turbocharger setups are all draw through.
It's not a bad deal. I mean, it doesn't pool fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
It keeps your mixture pretty much even.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see.
Oh, I should have probably said bless you. Huh?
No. It's okay. They covered you. They covered you.
All right. Well, I was actually just reading these
I know.
things.
I'm trying to catch up too.
And Thumper saying that they did the 301 Pontiac Turbo was that way. Buick did it with the 231, and Chevy did it with the Corvette. And Oldsmobile did it with that 215. Isn't that what we did? You did the video on last year? They had the methanol injected 215 with a suck through carburetor, and it had a weird side draft carb.
Yeah.
Like a 1 year only side draft carb.
The Corvette.
No, not the Corvette. Remember that F85 Jetfire?
Yeah, but the Corvette had that first.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Joe K, I keep seeing this over and over again. Joe K, have you guys seen the warning posted on exhaust vendors' website? Race only, etc., not to be used on public roads. Clean Air Act, you will be subject to criminal liability. I mean, bro, it's been illegal since 1972 or 1971. Whenever the Clean Air Act passed, nobody really cares, bro. Just buy your head, stick them on your car, and send it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I saw the guys from Bad Tree in here, and I'm glad you got your AHRA stuff. So I don't mess around, man. Drop them in the mail as fast as I can.
The only slow part is the mail itself. Let's see. Tim Huff, pitting on exhaust valves after home valve lapping job. Replace, or is there a point to where they'd be okay? As long as the pitting isn't in the seat itself, I mean, it should be okay. If they look really deep, I mean.
Yeah, I've done a lot of home valve jobs, and I tell you what, pitting, stuff like that, as long as you can get the valve to seat, and I always check them with like carb cleaner or brake cleaner. If you can squirt it down through the port and it starts leaking out there, you got a problem, right? But otherwise, if it seals up, it's probably going to stay sealed for quite a while. And that, if it's on an exhaust valve, what I found is that'll fill in with carbon, right? It really will be the first place. Yeah.
Let's see. Joe K, it wouldn't surprise me if it became an inspection item in New York where they put a decibel meter on your exhaust. Well, you shouldn't be in New York anyway. New York is no place for anybody who has a life of any sort. I mean,
anything besides a Prius or a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Is that the only thing?
Just get out of there. Cave Dave, I have a Holly 750 double pump. I ran it on my 69 Roadrunner 383 for about 200 miles and then put it on the shelf for 15 years. Go, can I use it without rebuilding it? I'm telling you, I can tell you right now, the O-rings at the needle and seat,
they've shrunk.
Yeah, they're going to leak. They're going to leak. So yeah, you definitely want to fix that. Chris Freemassoner. I live in New York. Not all of us drive a Prius and wear Birkenstocks. You will soon enough, man.
What? You haven't been indoctrinated yet?
Get out of there before the food riots start. You guys are going to be so screwed this summer.
That's what he just needs to come on vacation. Come on vacation down to Tennessee, and I guarantee you'll be moving down here shortly afterwards. Yeah, Thumper's right. The accelerator pumps are going to leak like mad as soon as he starts up that 15-year-old carburetor.
Yeah. So I was stuck at the O-rings on because I know for sure those are going to go, but yeah, the accelerator pump probably leak also.
Yeah, but those O-rings, they shrink after they sit for so long.
Yeah.
They're not having gas on them, and then they don't seal at all, right?
Yep. Food Wars. Tony's paying attention. Jason, I was on. I listen. 20 years. 20 years ago, I knew all of this stuff was coming. So yeah, I'm way ahead of them. What do you think I'm in Tennessee? Way ahead of it. Way ahead of all of it. Bill, thank you so much for the super chat. I've seen a 625 CFM Holley 2-barrel for sale online. Would that be a good upgrade to an original 2-barrel 318, or is it better to switch to a 4-barrel manifold and carb? A 625 CFM Holley 2-barrel, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's some kind of hybrid that somebody put together, because they offer them in a 350 and a 500 CFM size, a 2300 series. I've never seen a 625 or anything bigger than 500, unless there's some kind of hybrid carburetor that somebody put together. So, which is entirely possible.
Or it's entirely possible the listing is wrong.
Or the listing is wrong. But then again, you see, okay, so you get these circle track guys, right? Where they're limited to
Right.
the 2-barrel carburetor.
But they used to limit them to that 500.
Yeah, but they don't flow the carburetor. They just want to see that the number is on there. So if you're creative.
Yeah, you can make 625.
Yeah, right. Just take the throttle blades from a Dominator.
right.
You know what I mean?
And open it up.
Open everything up, yeah. So, no, but I would not use that. No, stay away from that. That's going to be a race carburetor.
And the other thing is, generally when you have a 2-barrel that large, because when the GM ones, the factory GM ones, like 500 CFM, I think that's what they were. The factory GM ones were like 500 or 450 or something. And every time I would go from a standard GM dual jet 2-barrel to a 4-barrel, it would get better mileage and run all over that freaking 2-barrel. And it's because you were operating the throttle blades essentially 500 CFM at a time.
Jason Fitch, Tony is just more prepared than scared. Keeps in line with the analog life. Scared? Not even the slightest bit. I'm looking forward to it. Bring the chaos. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I am so ready.
I planted a whole bunch of stuff this year.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a garden.
I'm seriously, I mean, just this is like off topic, but it cannot possibly get weird enough for me. It can't.
I can attest to that. He's ready for like lizard people eating each other in half.
Bring the lizard people. I am ready. Like seriously, I'm like, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go collapse this damn economy already. Let's get everybody on the same level and rock. You know. Zero saying fear is the mind killer, the little death. Fear is useless. See, Zero, that's why yes.
Fear is not useless. Fear drives you to not fail.
That's not true.
Yes, it does.
That's not true. I have no fear.
That's why you don't mind failing.
No, I embrace failure because the only way you can learn is through failure. So it's like, I'm okay with failure.
Right. Well, okay.
Ego is the killer.
Yeah.
Ego makes you afraid to fail. If you approach things without ego and just as an experience, then you actually embrace the failure. You're like, let's break it so we can make it better. Let's see. What's this?
This guy right here, freedom seeker and constitutionalist. Tony, I don't know if you know this, but doing this YouTube channel gives a future to information
to hand it down. Yes,
yeah, that's the whole point.
I've said this to Kathy knows. I've said this to Dallas. I've said this to everybody who's in the organization here. Right? Is that I am ready to pivot this channel. You know what I mean? Yeah, we do. We focus on muscle cars, hot rods, classics, and all the other stuff. But I'm ready to pivot this to automotive survival, mechanical survival, like in a heartbeat. I'm ready to go.
What would you call it? Automotive Cubaism.
Yeah.
So building stuff out of nothing.
One for the road. Total economic and social collapse. Out of the diet and haze comes a band of marauders driving old car beaters, the UTG gang. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be me. And I'll be right there with the what is it, the Mad Max era hot rods.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I am waiting. You have no idea. is disease. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I investigate myself. Hey, 25 years ago, people were all like, he's crazy. He's a conspiracy theorist. Right? And now all those same people are like, like they watch the news. I'm like, I told you, I told Kathy, right? I want to have shirts printed that just say, I told you so. Like, don't gloat. It's not funny to gloat. No, you watch me gloat.
I remember my grandpa saying a lot of this stuff back in the 90s.
Right? That's when I found out about it.
And it was like, that shit's never going to come true. And the next thing you know, you're like, holy crap. How did he see this coming?
Well, Harmonic, thank you for the super chat. I just had brand new cam bearings installed in my 440 and noticed that the center bearing oil hole is slightly not lined up to the oil hole in the block. Will that be a problem?
The center one?
Yeah. How far off is it?
It doesn't have to be lined up exactly.
Yeah.
It does have some leeway in that bearing and the block.
Yeah. You see, he's being vague because we don't know how much the oil hole is actually off.
Right.
It could be half blocking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You can just take a long drill bit and run it through, from the main saddle. So if you got the crank out, right, just get a long drill bit and run it through the saddle and open up the oil hole in the bearing. That's,
if anything, you can just actually cut the backside too, right?
Yes.
Because they actually make a dual groove bearing, or actually a groove bearing, where it doesn't matter really where the hole's at, right? Because the oil travels to that groove and feeds the exact amount of oil to the cam journal.
Franco bought more silver last week. Good move, man. It's drying up. The supply, you're not going to be able to buy it for too much longer. I'm waiting for silver to double. As soon as I see silver double from where it is right now, then I know it's game on, and I'll dump the rest of my loose cash into it.
I've been buying silver for cheap. It's real cheap.
It's dirt cheap right now.
No, I mean like stupid cheap. So what I do is I go to the bank,
right,
and I'll get like $50 or $100 worth of freaking rolls of quarters.
We used to do that.
And then I'll just go through, I'll find the 1964 and befores, right? Put them all back in the rolls, take them back.
The $50 are easier.
Are they?
You'll find more $50 like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for silver to double before I go into any more of it. Because like I said, once it doubles, it's on the rocket ride.
What do you mean, Tom Muse? The groove bearing does not carry oil all the way around. It's grooved all the way around.
Not all of them.
I know the ones that I get are grooved all the way around.
Wait, what, cam bearings?
On the backside, they got a groove all the way around.
That's it for the Buicks.
Right.
Yeah. Because
some other cars don't have it all the way around?
No.
Why would you even groove it then?
What do you mean?
Why would there even be a groove in the bearing if it's not all the way around?
Not all cam bearings have a groove like that. The Buicks do because of the way.
Well, the TA makes those. Nobody else makes them.
Because the Buick, so here's the cam bearing, right? The cam journal. The Buick oil passages from the side.
Right, and then it feeds the opposite side lifter galley.
Right. So
on the opposite side of that,
the groove
cam journal.
Right.
Yeah.
But like for instance, like a small block Ford or Chrysler, they don't have that groove because the oil passages come up from the bottom.
Because it's priority main oiling, right?
Yeah. Well, that's not so much priority. It's the location on the Buick motors, because it's coming in from the side like this. The bottom of the cam goes dry.
Right. Yeah, because it's got to go around the top.
Right. So what they do is they put an oil hole at the bottom and the groove. So the groove brings the oil to the bottom where it sits at the bottom of the cam.
Oh, yeah, it's not like that either.
How is it?
They're at 3 and 7. So it's like offset. The 7 is because, well, you got 3 oils coming in here, right?
Right.
It's coming down. And what it does is oil the hydraulic wedge.
Right.
And 7 allows it to carry it over the top of the cam and push it out the other side.
But either way, it's a Buick.
Maybe it's just a Buick thing. Does nobody else grooves cam bearings?
FE Ford, so you can get them grooved.
Oh,
mean,
well, you know
I
what?
don't
All
know.
those motors are very similar design. I bet big block Mopars probably you can get them grooved too, huh? Same kind of thing. And I didn't realize how close the FE Ford was to a Buick until I saw him the rocker arm assembly the other day. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a Buick set. And the guy's like, no, that's FE Ford. I'm like, what?
Yeah, very, very close. Franco says, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm an agenda observer. You got it. Yep. Let's see.
I don't know it. Did you ever watch the movie Conspiracy Theory? I know you don't watch movies, right?
No, I've been living in a world of conspiracy theory for.
Oh, well, you'll like that. You would like that movie because it's Mel Gibson, and all he does is he walks around and observes all this stuff, and then makes a newspaper with all these crazy theories. Well, one day the freaking FBI shows up to rub him out, right? And he's like, "What was it? Was it somebody's tie? Was actually a camera?" And they're like, they're not telling him what it was, right? But
Mopar Manic saying the oil hole is lined up about 3/4 of the way. He needs to move a 1/4 inch more to be perfectly lined up. You don't move it. You're not going to move it. Drill through it. Just get a long drill bit and drill through it, and then you'll never have any worries with it.
Yeah, and if the hole's not at the bottom, it's not critical because that's where the cam rides is at the bottom of it, right?
Right. Well, the only one that's going to be really critical on that engine if it happens to be number 4, because number 4 is the one that distributes the oil to the cylinder heads. So that one's got to be dead nuts. All those, because that's got 3 holes. It's got the hole at the bottom and 2 at the top. Those have to be dead nuts.
I know on the junk that I mess with, if you take those cam bearings and you block off the passage, let's say you don't get the cam bearing in there right. It blocks off like half the oil going to the main, right? Yep. Because it'll block the passage off.
Tech World, that is the most generous super chat. I got to sneeze. It's Tech World. Your super chat made me sneeze. Thank you so much. That's very generous. I totally appreciate that. Great seeing more tech YouTubers out here grinding. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Tech World, you should come join us more often. That's the first time I've seen him on here. Have you? I've never seen him on here. Have you?
No, first time I've seen him.
Yeah, that's bitching. Thanks for sending us $50.
And everybody he's saying bless you and Gazoo, thank you. Yeah, allergies. Danny Boy, wait till the government starts doing bail-ins. It's not the government, it's the bank doing bail-ins. Banks doing bail-ins, and that's already baked in the cake. That's written into law. Got 44 ounces of the shiny. Don't be telling people how much of it you got, bro. He retracted his message. So real quick, right? I know we've talked about Salty Cracker and we got a bunch of the Salty Army and is well represented here in our audience. But how many of you guys have got your popcorn? Right? Yeah. Well, if I say then it won't. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say because I'm not going to say.
Oh, this is code for something? Okay.
They'll know, right? That if you know, you know. If you know, you know. How many of you guys have actually got your popcorn? And you know who I'm talking about. Wolverines. Yes, Wolverines is also a good thing to have.
I'm going to trade all my silver for beer. Why don't you just brew beer and then you don't have to worry about getting rid of your silver at all?
Kathy's saying, yes, UTG is now on Twitter, right? We now have a presence on Twitter. Well, we had, but we haven't used it at all. But now we got a car guy, running Twitter. So it's like, why not? Let's go to Twitter. So
what's funny is like all the people screaming about it, like, no, this guy can't buy Twitter and make free speech on Twitter. But they're also driving a Tesla that funded for this whole thing, right? So it's like,
great. I know.
I know.
Yes, Uncle Kathy saying follow us on Twitter. Uncle Kathy made me so freaking proud, right? Do you remember the Rampage field with Semchenko and Stoms? Yeah, I mean, I remember the car. It was around when I was a kid. Tony Stoms, he runs a service station or a shop in Jersey now. He's actually on my friends list. I worked with Tony Stoms on Jerry Caminito's car for like a year when I was a kid. I was just getting started. I was just learning, and he was like a year or two ahead of me as far as experience goes.
Lobo GTX says that Cabral made a Twitter account too.
Oh, did he? Nice.
I'm assuming since it happened the same day that you guys are in cahoots. Is that the plan? Is that what's going on?
It would be nice. It would be nice. But it's funny. Okay, so none of you guys got the popcorn reference. You don't know who
Dude,
I'm
we
talking
should freaking invite Cabral for a Wednesday night live.
There's always an invitation. He's absolutely always.
He's
welcome.
like in the northeast choke point of the United States, right? I should bring him back after we do an event over at Northeast Dragway. Just go up there and grab him. I don't know about kidnap him, but I don't know. What would you do to lure him into your van? Would you put out like, I don't know. I'm assuming a guy like that would like candy corns, right?
Troll food. I don't know.
It'd be candy corns. Children is always a good troll thing. In the trolls that live under the bridge eating the children as they cross?
Yeah.
Or the goats?
Let's not go there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking candy corns. Just a trail of candy corn.
Let's see. Troll food. Which comment? If you want to scare him off, hold a toothbrush. Oh, come on. We've been demonetized.
How would we be demonetized?
She's joking.
I just figured candy corn is the candy that everybody hates. So if that's the case, Cabral would have to enjoy it, right?
He's always got an invitation. Anytime he wants to come on a live or anything like that, he's more than welcome. Any of the Troll Farm people, more than welcome. I would pay money. Nobody's gonna take me up on it. I would literally pay money. I'd pay the motherfucker to come on and do a live with me. Well, 40 minutes ago, Elon Musk tweeted, "Next time buying Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in."
I saw the funniest thing. Somebody made a meme that said, Elon Musk says, "Now that I own Twitter, the first person to say LS swap it gets banned." I've seen that car. Uncle Tony, have you ever heard of or seen the Scare Lane?
No, what's that?
It's some healthy ass Ford Fairlane, and I mean it's healthy looking. Well, I'll Google it for you because it is something worth looking up.
Gabriel DeMarco, Tony and Dallas got a chance to buy 66 Fury. Any issues to look for? It's got a 318 auto. Just looking for a cruiser. The only like common issues I find on those early C bodies, those things are solid, man. You get the usual trunk rust and stuff. Just look at the bottom of the front frame rails. They tend to collect a lot of dirt in the bottom of the front frame rails, and they'll get soft. And it's not to this point that you got to replace them, but you'll find like rust spots down along the bottom of the frame rails on those cars. It's very common, but otherwise, fantastic cars.
Man, I can't get this picture. There we go. I can't read without my glasses on. So it's like this 427 Camry, like a 56, 57 Ford, right?
Let's see.
There it is. Scare Lane.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
It's a good looking car.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's every bit the part, kind of like your Street Freak.
Yeah, except that's definitely a little bit more severe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice car.
It looks good.
Yeah. So it's got that 1969-70 stance.
Yeah, the last breath of the gasser.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be the last breath of the true gasser, huh?
Let's see. Tech World, are you guys into phones and PCs? I'm not, man. I'm still Tech World. I'm still trying to wrap my head around color TV. Every time I look at the TV and I see colors, I'm like, oh my god, it's like a regular thing now. that's like I'm so far behind. As far as like the running of this channel, the technical running of this channel, Kathy does 100% of that. She does 100% of that. I just
No, I take that. That's not true. She does 99% because we do set this laptop up and turn that light on.
Yes,
to
yes,
do this live.
Yeah.
So Kathy, you're getting slowly edged out. You only got 99% left until you're finally pushed out.
Color TV made Green Acres so much better. The Green Acres was always in color, man.
Oh, was it one of the first ones?
Yeah.
I just remember being a kid, and we were the first ones on the probably the block to have color TV, right? In about 1979, that thing started eating color tubes. Do you remember that? So you go down to the store and buy the color tubes.
Yep.
And then you go to the grocery store and pick them up. And you'd have a box of these tubes, and the whole back was off the TV. And every time it'd lose a color, my dad would be like, "Go get a color tube and put it in there."
Yep.
Right. And here I am. It's probably like 20,000 volts or something on that freaking anode. And you just pull them out, stick a new one in, you're good to go for at least 2 weeks.
My grandfather had a drugstore on the District Avenue in Brooklyn.
I bet they sold them there.
He had a tube tester.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you put in the slot, whichever one you had, and it had your number on there, right? Like N241. And then you'd look and put the N241 in there, and yeah, I remember those.
Tony's first phone number started with Klondike. No, you just picked up the phone and told the operator who you wanted to talk to.
What, you guys were in New York, right? You didn't do the Rocky phone call? Like, hey!
Oh, yeah.
You just yell out the window. Oh, John Wilburn's right on that one. Color made Gilligan's Island better, but Andy Griffith was better in black and white.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah. I don't know why that was. I'm assuming because Andy Griffith came out black and white, and that's what you mentally pictured it as. And then when it went color, it just wasn't the same flavor, right? Even though it virtually was the same show. Yeah. Nothing changed. Don Knotts was still on there.
No, it changed. It changed because you had Goober, then there was first you had Goober, and then Goober was black and white, and then Gomer was color. It changed. The show changed. And then there was a separate show, Gomer Pyle USMC.
No, it was Gomer first and then Goober.
No, Goober was first.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought Goober was Gomer's cousin, and he came after Gomer went to the army.
Okay, who Gomer was first? Okay, all right. You're right.
Territory, yes. The No Name Nationals will be live on YouTube, and it'll probably be live on probably 200 different channels. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah. Wouldn't you be streaming live down there?
It's up to Kathy. I don't.
I know we're not going to have the radio playing at all, just the announcers, and we're going to have internet, and everybody's going to get the password. So it's going to be rip roaring as best as possible. Will they be in color? No, for the sake of this No Name Nationals, it will be all black and white.
Well, Rose Garage, I haven't adjusted the tracking in a while.
Oh, yeah, that's something that has to be done. Remember the vertical and horizontal tracking that you'd have to do?
Oh, the vertical. Okay, so when I was a kid, I
picture roll.
So I'm 60, right? So when I was a little kid, I was probably 2 or 3 years old. So this would be 1964, 1965. There used to be a show called Outer Limits, right?
Oh yeah, that's a cool show.
Okay, do you know the beginning of it?
Okay, where it has the spaceships and all that stuff.
No, the opening. I remember this like it was yesterday, right? This show, I think, is what took the fear out of me. Okay, because at the beginning of the show, the TV would be turned off. Okay, so remember the old days they would turn off the TV, like little black and white
Push the button.
TVs. You push the button and the screen would go like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
the little
yeah.
dot. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the beginning of Outer Limits, the
TV
screen would
would
go
do that.
like that,
Uh-huh.
and it would say, and then a voice would come and say, "Do not touch your television set.
Right, right.
We now control the volume,
the vertical, the horizontal."
And I was like,
How are these guys doing this?
I was like 2 fucking years old, man. Like, and I was like, after that, it was like nothing fazed me.
I do remember that. You know, they had some movies. They had movies, Outer Limits movies.
Yeah, well, it was a big deal.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, there was a what was that one decade? Dan Aykroyd was in one of them. I can't remember if that was Outer Limits or Twilight Zone. Did you ever see that? Dan Aykroyd was in that movie, and it was based on those shows, but it was one of those shows. It was just a 2-hour-long movie, right?
I never saw the movie. I know that the guy.
Man, that one was so cool because the very opening was kind of like it gave you that creeps like that, right? It was like a car accident, and then like this guy gets picked up, and it's Dan Aykroyd driving the freaking ambulance.
Okay.
And the guy, he gets hurt like in this accident or whatever, or he picks him up. Maybe he's a hitchhiker. I don't remember. But either way, he says, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" And the guy's like, "Okay." And they're in the middle of the desert, and he just turns the headlights off, and he's driving down the road, and the guy's like, "Turn it back on quick. You know, like we can't see where we're going." He's like, "See, I told you." And then like a few minutes later, he's like, "You want to get scared?" And he turns the headlights off, and the guy's like, "Hey, man, quit freaking doing that. That shit scares the crap out of me." And then like the third time, he's like, "You want to get scared?" And he reaches up like he's going to turn off the headlights, and he bites this dude's head off.
Right? Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
It's like, holy crap. Oh, that's what it is. You want to see something really scary. That's what he says.
Let's see. Stephen Wang. Tony, I'm planning on getting my cams reground. It's 284 degrees duration. Is 284 degrees duration considered mild? Well, yeah, 284 actual duration, not your 50 number, would be on the mild side. Yeah, it's not a substantial cam.
Ooh, how much power lift at that would be?
I hope that's a
low lift. That would have to be low lift.
Yeah, so that's low lift. You got to multiply that. The thing is, yes, you can by increasing the duration and the lift, you can alter the cam, but really lobe separation is what gives it its personality, and that you can't change with regrinding.
Well, Territory, it sounds like you really want to watch the No Name Nationals on YouTube. So you can either tune in, like myself, or the Mr. Rotors Neighborhood, AHRA, John Wilburn's channel, and just about countless others, the people that are going to be there. Your Bad Tree Productions guys, Wild Rose Garage, Bear Rose Garage. I mean, gosh, what is Dust Devil Garage is going to be there. There's going to be literally like 100 people streaming from 100 different angles of everything that's going on. It's probably going to be more than that, to be honest with you. But that's kind of what, off the top of my head, you could virtually go to any one of those channels and they're probably going to be streaming. The neat thing is going to be, you're going to get the event, whatever's happening on Friday, and then whatever's happening Saturday, right? But then the in-between is probably going to be just as fun to watch, I'm assuming.
Dakota is asking, Tony, you ever chucked the camera in a vise and ground on it to get more lift and duration? Yes, and didn't have good results. I did that when I was a kid. I had to try it because I was told, well, that's what you do. If you don't have any money to buy a new cam, that's what you do. You grind. So I did. I ground down the base circles and I polished it as best as I could. And it didn't, it ate lifters. This was like 1979, whatever it happened to be.
John Mazzio says that Shatner on the airplane scared him when he was a kid. There's a man on the wing. Right. Isn't that the one where he's he's like gremlin or whatever on the wing? There's a man
on the wing.
Yeah. And he sounded exactly the same as Captain Kirk. How is that possible? Bill Maestro, thank you so much for the $10. Tony, you have a model of Plan Z and Bottle Rocket, if I remember right.
Yes, and they're beautiful.
I challenge your model building friend, or even Steve Maggs, to build a replica of Blinky the Slant 6 Miata.
I got to tell you something. Winky is Winky. I don't even remember. Is going to get parted out because I have no interest in using it, running it. I've had people telling me, "Yeah, I got to take it. I'm going to take it," and it's still sitting there. No, the car's getting parted out because I'm going to use that motor. The motor that's in Plan Z right now is just to get the car running and everything. I really want to build a 170 for it, so I'm going to use the 170 that's currently in.
And you're going to go hog wild drag racing with the 170 slam.
The 170 is one I think is going to make the power.
Well, I think that's why I like the 300 Buick, and nobody seems to believe. Well, originally the design, just like your 170, the original design is the perfect design, right? Because it has, all right, the 215 Buick grew into the 300. All it did was add more deck height, right? Bigger bore. 340, then the 350. And then, it was your 231 as well. But the 215, do you know it has a bore to stroke ratio of 2.2?
Say that again now?
It has bore to stroke ratio of 2.2, which is like that's like where you'd find full-on race cars. Right? And 2.0 is like the magic number.
Okay. Well, all of the original designs were pure from the engineers,
right?
You know what I mean? And
everything was designed around that, and then everything else after that was a Band-Aid fix.
Right?
Yeah.
Slant Daily.
Oh, that's Shane. Oh,
okay.
Man.
Okay, Shane. Okay. With a regrind, you can tighten the LSA by about 2 degrees. If you keep the duration at 50,000, it's only 10 degrees more. Yeah, but don't the ramps start to get really severe at that point? Mopar Man 78. There is no loading in the red zone. The white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. Don't start up with the red shit, Betty.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, the first part is the central scrutinizer from Joe's Garage, but I don't know the rest of it.
All right. Wild Rose Garage says, I find a 425 Olds will outrun a 455 Olds in the same light vehicle. That 425 is a monster, man. I'm telling you, that's my favorite engine out of all the Oldsmobile line, that 425 Olds. My dad's friend got one out of a Tornado. About a 68, 69 Tornado, and put it in a 65 F85. And that sucker was just flat mean. My dad ended up with the car after his buddy died, and then put a 455 Olds in it, and it never ran as good as the 425.
Oh, okay. Trumper, I think lots of guys are saying that the red zone thing is from Airplane. Okay, but if you know the Frank Zappa album Joe's Garage, there's a character that narrates through the album, and he's called the central scrutinizer, and he keeps going back to the white zone is for loading and unloading only, and that is actually before, I believe, the movie Airplane came out.
I love it. The Airplane is such a funny movie. All those movies that Leslie Nielsen guy did are all really funny. He did one in like the 90s. Well, and you probably have never seen The Usual Suspects, huh?
No.
All right.
See, you spent a lot of time on a boat.
I did, but
I was never on a boat.
Yeah, maybe so.
But yeah, that would be the only thing you guys could really do at night.
I didn't sleep. We didn't have any time off.
You should do. You know something? You should do a movie channel. I bet you have so much subconscious, like you've absorbed so much
information just crammed in there.
I'll bet you there's stuff in there that you don't even realize. And if you started like talking movie trivia with people,
actually, you know what? Be like, I really want to do what I thought would be an awesome YouTube channel because nobody does it. Just get the other YouTube videos, and then we'll have it set up like Mystery Science Theater 3000, where you have 3 guys
do that too. That could be fun.
Just like criticize them what they're doing, right?
Roast them.
Yeah.
J Unit, Uncle Tony, how do you feel about 1965 Plymouth Belvedere drag cars? I feel
They're beautiful.
I feel, warm, but perhaps a tad apprehensive, a bit standoffish.
Oh, is that what you have sitting in your driveway?
No,
Oh.
he asked me my feelings towards it.
Yeah, Moperman 1978 says he likes the part where they're all in line to deal with the hysterical woman in the seat, and then like everybody's got like brass knuckles and a freaking club. And
Yeah, I saw that like when it came out. I can't. Oh God, I'm trying to picture it. That's that's where the guy sniffing glue. It picked a terrible week to stop sniffing.
Yes,
glue.
yes.
Yeah,
I picked a horrible week to stop shooting heroin, right? And it was like it kept getting worse. I picked a horrible week to stop drinking coffee, and then I picked a horrible week to stop smoking cigarettes, and then it just kept getting progressively worse. And he's like, picked a terrible week to stop sniffing glue, and then shooting up with heroin. It just kept getting worse and worse.
Joe K says he got the sniffles from watching this video. It's allergies.
You have allergies that bad down here?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Let's see. Where were we here? Nick at OBX. Hey, Uncle Tony, the horn shorted on my Super Bee and melted my firewall bulkhead, but didn't blow any fuses. Any ideas? Thanks. No, your horn did not short and do that because your horn is a ground. There's only one wire that goes to the bulkhead connector, and that would be the ground to the actual horn button. The horn relay is under the hood. So something else shorted out.
And it shorted to that horn.
Shorted to the horn, yeah.
Oh, and I'll bet you it's right there at the bulkhead connector. Right? Because you said it's only one wire and it goes through the bulkhead connector.
Right. Well, everything inside the car goes through the bulkhead connector. Yeah.
But it's something dead shorted in that bulkhead connector, and it's shorting through your horn.
Yep.
Dude, it's almost 2 hours. This was the fastest Wednesday Night Live.
This was ever. A really fast Wednesday Night Live.
Holy crap! I was having a good time up until now, of course.
It doesn't have to end. I mean, we could keep going if you want.
I cannot.
You got to go.
Yeah, well, I have kids that I got to go home.
Muscle City Madness. Thank you for the super chat. Dallas, I'm a sailor also. These guys have no idea about the
high movie tapes. Yeah, we did not have. All right, so the Navy came out with their own version of tape, essentially.
Okay.
So that no one could steal it and take it home and play it. Right?
Okay.
And it's like not very big. It's pretty small. But all the movies on the ship, we had Sight TV. And you'd have to call down. There'd be a guy stand and watch. And his job was to just play movies.
Okay.
Right? It was a 24-hour watch. And then because you'd have people working around the clock. Right? Essentially, your ship becomes 3 separate shifts.
Okay.
But it's really like 6 shifts that are rotating every 4 hours. And that guy would play those high 8 movie tapes. And I mean, there would be 2, maybe 3 channels going at a time. If you're on a big deck like a carrier, there'd be 7. Right. And there's something to watch all the time. And what they'll do is they just run like, okay, these are the 8 movies we're going to run today. And they'll be all in different hour sequences on all the other different channels. Okay. So you never got to miss one. But when you get off watch 3 a.m, you go down, get some food, and then watch a movie. And then you'd be back up at 6. And that was the extent of your life. And that's where, if you've ever noticed, there's always people on like that come on my Mr. Rotors and stuff. They're like, dude, how do you freaking sleep at night? And you do all this stuff and you're doing stuff all the time. And it's like, well, that's where I got.
You're used to that schedule.
Yeah, that schedule. You sleep 4 hours at a time, and then I wake up and I'll just be walking around like a zombie for the next 5, and then I can go back to sleep. So I have a hard time sleeping, like regular schedule.
All right, so I guess John Wilburn's going to be here this weekend.
He is. He's coming with me to Jeffers.
So Sunday night, we're going to be having our Sunday Night Live is going to be a barbecue. So
that's 7:00.
Yeah, 7:00
here at the shop.
Yeah, so Kiwi is going to be here. Mopar Al is going to be here. The Junkyard Jet Kid's going to be here, and I guess John Wilburn is going to be here.
I'll probably be here,
and you'll be here.
I don't know. So, I'm probably going to have to bring John over. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
So it'll be a fun time on Sunday night. Can I attend? Sure, why not?
Yeah, Thumper, the sweaty fat guy, says he learned to sleep with jet engines going. That's what it's like in the Navy. Like, you don't get to sleep. They tell you when to sleep, but most of the time you can. That was one of the weirdest things ever. Is I could sleep on demand, and people don't understand what that's like. They would say, "Hey, well, you got 30 minutes till you got to be somewhere." I could get 29 and a half minutes of that sucker as a nap. Like, sleep on demand.
I can pretty much do that myself.
Can you? That's when you know you're wore out. You don't have a good sleep work-life balance. Is the easy way to put it. And I mean, I literally ran off of. You could have probably cut me, and I would have bled Folgers, right? Or whatever is that? What's the blue one? Maxwell House.
Maxwell House. No, I could sleep. I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Just
drop of a hat.
I'm out. Yeah.
Just like in the Navy, I could drink coffee any time of the day and then sleep immediately thereafter. Well, now I found on like a normal person schedule, if I drink coffee at 6 o'clock at night, I'm effed until like 2 in the morning.
I used to run have the coffee houses. I would drink gallons of this stuff, right? Just gallons of coffee, and then go home and just like pass out, like like there was nothing to it.
Yeah, pass out while holding a fresh coffee, right? And that was one of the good things that helped me on the AHRA the first year, because I was driving 5,000 miles a month the first year, right? And I was literally having to drive to Maine and back. It's 36, or it's 36 total. So it'd be 18 hours up there, put on the event, and then 18 hours home. And I could literally do it without even sleeping.
Oh, when I was doing the fuel card thing, it was like that too. I mean, I would go for literally 4 or 5 days, no sleep.
Yeah, no sleep.
Just you hit the road, service the car, do what you've got to do, and then hit the road and head back because I had business to do at home.
I would get to the point where at 3 days, I knew I'd been up long enough because I would have just immediately get sick. I would start walking around, my eyes start watering, my nose would start running. I'm like, what is going on with me, right? And then I realized, no, I've gotten sick, right? Because your immune system is just crushed because you haven't had any sleep.
Franco, so I don't know the 37th parallel. I'm not really familiar with that. I guess this was like around 1990, 1991. I had 2 races in a row. I had a car at Cordova. There was like a test and tune type of thing, and then we were going to run at Union Grove. So I lived in New York City, right? Mm-hmm. So I ran out to Cordova. I did what I had to do with that car, right? So I got in my car, right? Finished my work day in my shop, okay? Got in the car, drove to Cordova, right? Got out of the car, did the test and tune thing with the car that I was supposed to do there. Jumped back in the car, drove back to Union Grove, Wisconsin, ran a 3-day race, right? So now I'm up for 4 days straight. I haven't stopped moving. I haven't stopped working. I got my friend Dave the Indian, Dave LeClaire, was having a christening for his kid, right, back in New York City. And I had to be there for that because I had been blowing things off. And I was like, I can't blow this off.
Right.
So I finished up at Cordova, jumped in the car, and ran straight back to New York City. 5 days, no sleep, no rest, no stop. Okay.
And 1,000 miles.
I get to the wedding. If Kathy still watches, she'll remember this. Not the wedding. I get to this christening. I sit down to eat. And I go like this, and I just passed out in my face.
So it was pointless to be there anyway. Yeah. Well, so Raining Slant 6 says, Dallas, you were Navy. My dad served DD 702, USS Hank, 58 to 60. He remembered how they made peanut butter ice cream, peanut butter, anything, peanut butter and bacon sandwiches. Well, so, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. Our food they'd only serve food at meal times, right? Which that sounds stupid when I say it, like it's obvious. It's only at meal times, right? But your meal time was literally from 6 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning. If you did not eat during 6 to 7:30, you did not eat breakfast. And if you were working when 11:15, when lunch went down, until 12:30, you didn't eat lunch. And it was the same way. And then we had one that was a catch-all for the guys coming on watch from the 10 to 2, which they had mid-rets. And that would happen from essentially around 10 o'clock. Okay. So 10 to 11. If you did not eat in those windows, you couldn't go eat. There's no place to go eat. Like the food's all locked up. You can't get anything to eat. And people would like eat whatever they could, right? So we find little peanut butter packets that you're meant to just squeeze out like mustard, but on a piece of bread. And you didn't have any bread. All you had was ramen noodles. So you take ramen noodles and squeeze peanut butter on it and put jelly on the other side, right? And because, you hadn't eaten all day. What are you going to do? And there's no place to go get food. So it was just like weird. Oh, your brother was on the Forestall one at Confire. I'm glad I wasn't on that, man. I'm sorry. That was a tough one.
All right. So, guys, I think that's it. I think we're done. We gotta wrap this. We gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
All right. No Name Nationals. What about the No Name Nationals?
September 30th, October 1st, Jeffers Motorsports Park. If you're not registered, get registered now. There's still plenty of time to get registered. But if you're waiting until you got your 500 subs, there might not be any spots for you. So then all your work was for naught. So get registered for No Name Nationals now. Go to nonamenationals.com and sign up. Thumper, yeah, I'll get you tomorrow, man. When I check my email.
Okay.
Let's see. There's nothing new. John and I are going to have our Friday normal every other week update for No Name Nationals. We're doing it this Friday, but John's going to be at my place. We're actually going to the track to measure stuff out, to figure out where we want to put the layout, right? How we want to lay things out. Yep. So we'll be live on Friday. It'll be John Wilburn's channel, but it'll be live from downtown Las Casas.
And then Sunday night. So
yeah, we'll all be here.
Yeah, they'll be here. Mopar Al will be here. Kiwi will be here. The Junkyard Jet guys will be here. It's going to be just a big get together on Sunday night here at the shop. So on that note, let's go. Right, Ari, John, Fubar, Zero, in no particular order. The best mods on Earth. Our species only evolved to this point to give us mods like those guys.
I would have to say Galaxy, because just on Earth, that like. The moon probably doesn't have a better one.
No.
Jupiter doesn't have a better one.
Our viewers.
Yeah.
Our viewers are the finest people on Earth and the fastest growing, best automotive community on YouTube. Everybody contribute with Super Chat. Thank you so much. It keeps the wheels turning, the bills paid. We keep moving forward. Thank you. Everybody contributed just with yourself, your presence, your conversation. Thank you equally.
See, Fubar even put up the link to the AHRA online. So go over there, get yourself some merch, buy a membership. You can't buy these awesome tees. This was a one-off deal from Blake at Bad Tree.
We're on Twitter now. Uncle Tony's Garage on Twitter. So it's safe to go there now. I think.
Go over there and check out Tony's Pecker on Twitter, right?
Oh, God.
It don't even sound right. Huh?
No, that sounds terrible. But we are on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter or inclined to whatever, we figured, well, car guy took it over. We can give this a shot now. So we'll be like hanging out there a little bit. And what else, right? Go get your silver, put some food aside, right? Things are going to get
popcorn.
Things are going to get fun, right? They're going to get fun, right? Well, the popcorn is something that only some people who are of a certain, let's see, if they have followed a certain entity for the last several years, they would be familiar with popcorn, with the popcorn reference.
Jason's Garage just remembered to join AHRA. Well,
yes, awesome. Join AHRA.
I'll send you some stuff too when you do.
So that's it, guys. I'm hitting this out button and we're so done.
Yeah,
so done. All right, we're out here, guys. Good night, all.